Yeah, there we go. We're just gonna get a little.
What about me?
You have a pair too, but they're on the inside.
I have a pair of labia.
I mean, you
But
have
one
that.
of them has nerve damage from my back injury.
That's so sad.
Yeah, one of my labia does not have feeling.
Complete
The
100% lack of feeling?
Not
or
100%.
But it's diminished.
Diminished left labia.
Is it sensation or feeling? Or
It's
both?
like the top of your skin. Like if you push down, you can feel, but the top is you can. I couldn't feel that.
Ooh.
That's a weird
It's
part
really,
of your body to lose sensation.
I'd say
It's-
less weird as much as sad. That's sad.
Well,
Just,
it's not the good part. I mean, there's like
there's a lot
You
of
lost-
parts. I get there's a
there's
lot of parts.
layers in
There's
there.
a lot of parts. I understand
There's
that.
layers.
But
It's
like,
not like the
but-
good part.
but it's like any death in the world diminishes us all. You know.
Yes.
Would that be like the equivalent of a guy not feeling part of his scrotum? Like
I
half
I feel
my
like
scrotum.
balls are way more sensitive.
They're sensitive, but not in a good way. Like you can get them like played with a little bit, and that's nice.
Depends though. Some guys really like
Some guys
their balls being played with.
They do, and I listen. Me too, a little bit, but it's not like if I lost some sensation, I'd be like, well, sex is over.
Yeah, cut my dick off.
Just
That's
got
it.
lose it. Nope, it's over. You know, as long as they've performed their function, otherwise, we're good.
Okay.
You know,
Your balls?
my balls.
Okay.
Like that's not the part that's as important. Let's say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exact-
But I think
okay.
labia are way less sensitive, actually.
Oh, really?
The shaft of the penis is important.
That's important. The further
And the head.
the further up you get, the more vital, let's say, the penis gets.
Yeah.
I was at Black's Beach today just to exercise, though.
Wink, wink.
And people watch.
There's a lot of dicks that are like semi-chubs.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
no yeah.
And I was like, what temperature does your penis like just get kind of
oh god,
a little not it's not like aroused, because like I'm wondering if these people are getting aroused or it's just really hot out.
No, it's arousal.
No,
It's
it's arousal.
arousal.
If
Okay.
if it's like any kind of like forward, that's it's getting there. There's no.
There were quite a few of those.
It's either down. If it gets hot, it doesn't like go out. It goes like.
It
down.
hangs a little bit.
It hangs
If it's
a
hot,
Saggier.
it
Saggier,
hangs a little
okay.
bit,
Yeah.
but it does not.
It does not go outward.
If it chubs, like if it starts to get a little bit bigger.
Yeah, like he's
that's
saying,
a
like away from the body.
Yeah,
That's arousal.
That's
That's
arousal. That's
psychological.
straight
there
up.
was some aroused,
Listen, if there's a reason,
semi-aroused.
yeah, there's a reason you go to Black's Beach, and it's not just for fully just to experience freedom.
No, okay,
Dudes.
that's why I go. Okay, dudes, different.
Dude's way different.
Different.
If a dude goes to Black Beach and it's not like me and my dad and my uncle, we accidentally hike through it.
It wouldn't be the first time that you saw your dad and your uncle naked.
No, we were clothed. We hiked from north of Black's Beach through it. And so there's like a family section
Yeah.
back when I was a kid, and then as we went through, then there's just a bunch of overweight dudes and a couple of like couples.
Yeah, the bigger, chubbier guys that were like playing frisbee and stuff, they had like the droopy, saggy, like melty balls and
Yep.
melty. Yeah,
I guess it gets lower
genitalia.
after a while.
And back when I did it, there was a lot more man bush, so it really made them look smaller, which is now why I groom. So
That's why you grew out your bush.
that's why I groom.
Oh,
I got what you're saying.
Yeah, she got it.
I got it.
I thought you said you grew them, as in your pubic hairs.
I groom my more above. Okay, above I make short. Below I get fully clean.
I like to keep the above there,
Yeah.
but I just
Take
trim
it
the
down.
below
I know.
around the base of my penis.
Okay, testicles I go full bald, and above in the patch it looks stupid because I have like a Mexican, so I have body hair. It looks weird if I go from body hair to like barren. So
You have to make a gradient.
a gradient. So it looks. I'd have to get a full body wax, and that's not how I want to roll. Welcome to the Transmit Podcast. I'm Sarah Spike,
It's Manda.
I'm Victor.
and really, I thought there was no better way to start than with us talking
Were
about.
we
it.
really recording that?
Yeah, I'm gonna not. I'll cut out the other stuff.
Okay.
And I'll cut-
I don't remember what I said.
It was about your labia.
Oh, you can include that. That's
Okay.
fine.
I don't think anything
One of them
that
works.
was too bad. It's just maybe a little bit boring.
Oh, okay.
Victor is not amused.
Not impressed at this talk of of our genitals. What?
But yeah, we were talking about genitals.
Yes,
And
I think you know what I think. Genitalia is such a pretty word.
it really is.
Really, just
Makes you think of
genitalia.
It sounds kind of
flowers,
kind of
like a
Italian.
flower.
Flowers.
I've got I'm growing some genitals in the
In the
No,
garden.
not genitals, genitalia.
Oh, I'm growing some genitalia.
There we
That
go.
sounds beautiful.
Oh, have you seen the genitalia in fall? That's when they're in peak.
Yeah.
They bloom. They come full rise.
Temperature doesn't increase length, but it does decrease length. I was going to say that.
Yeah,
earlier.
it does. Yeah.
It decreases length?
Yes.
Yeah, if it's cold, it'll
Oh wait,
shrinkage.
it's cold. So another funny story about Black Speech is
Okay.
Laura and I went in the water, and this guy just randomly went up to us and was like, "It's really cold." And we looked at him. We're like, "We get it. We get it."
Yeah. I swear to
Okay,
God,
thank you.
this is not me at my best. I swear to you.
If I went to Black Beach, I would bring like a popsicle stick and some duct tape, some masking tape. No, Scotch tape,
Scotch tape.
and then just kind of tape it there behind my penis to just have it completely stretched out the whole time.
There's no amount of temperature could pull it in.
Yeah. And then I don't have to say, "Oh, it's cold." I'd be like, "Hey, it's a nice day out."
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
It's really interesting the sun protection technology that's implemented for people's dicks. You have like the full on like zinc coated dick, so different colors of like just full barrier sunblock.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, what's going on?
Then there's like little like sheaths, like a little like
Really?
like a sleeping bag you put over. I've seen people just put like a piece of paper
Really?
because it's sensitive skin, and
Yeah,
if
you
you're
don't
not
wanna-
used to going in the sun, it's gonna burn.
Oh, another good thing
God,
to
that's the
do
worst place.
is like what the Yanomamo do in South America.
What do they do?
What's that?
They tie a rope around their waist, and then they tie their penis up to that rope, like up to their belt. So they're just wearing, so their penis is just up all the time.
Oh.
That's how they keep it out of the way. That's their clothing. They'll just have a belt,
I mean,
and then their
Good.
penis will
Keep
be
it
up,
out of the way.
and then they'll tie it to like the front of their belt.
truly, this is
I
brilliant
learned,
stuff.
yeah, I learned something new today.
But they're probably all dead now.
The Yonomato?
Probably.
The Yanomamo,
Yanomamo.
they live in the Amazon.
Okay, like I know like movie actors like their stories really well, but I don't know their names. You know about the Yanomamo?
Yeah,
Like-
it was from an anthropology class I took in
That makes sense.
college.
You had to actually learn.
They're
it.
actually a really popular tribe that anthropologists like to study
I can see why.
because they're like a little microcosm of humanity.
Yeah.
They go to war with each other. What else do they do?
You get to see their
they
genitals.
they beat their wives. They have like a wife beating culture.
Yeesh. So I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I can see that.
I mean, I guess it's not a good thing, but it's an interesting thing to study.
It is not a good thing. Oh my god. Okay. So
All right.
before we go too far off the rails, but no, this was good. Like I think everyone and our listeners really learned something. Let's get into show talk, and I wanted to ask Victor because we never talked to you about where you got your training from for wrestling.
Did we not talk about that?
I don't
Did
think
we talk about that.
I don't recall.
Well, I guess it started with Mike Rapata,
Yeah.
the Colorado kid.
Yes.
He came down to San Diego, kind of started the Southwestern Alliance of Wrestling.
Yeah. Is that one of the? I think I dropped you off at a
Yeah,
school once.
No, you dropped me off to the show at
Oh.
Belmont Park.
Yes,
remember?
okay.
You were there.
Yeah.
Then I asked him, "Hey, what does it take to train?" And he was like training out of a building up in Oceanside.
No, I did take you there once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you received
where I
your
started.
training.
That's where I got my like basic main training.
And so
And
what
then
like
I've been like self-taught a little bit.
yeah,
after
because you're
that.
always a fan, right?
Yeah, and just kind of watched when he like took off and when my training with him ended. And then now recently I've been training at Level Up
Oh yeah.
ever so often with B-Boy, the
cool.
New Age Punisher.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about you, man? I never got your story for how you got your wrestling training. That'll come back to you a little bit with some more specifics on training.
Well, I started at Super Awesome Showdown with Mason
Yeah.
and Victor and Kevin. It really took off when we started training in the backyard at their house.
Yeah.
And it was on Canton. Because before that, we would only just do shows. And so we would only put the ring up like a day, maybe 2 days before the show.
Wow.
So if you wanted to learn anything, you had to, like, there was a limited amount of time that we could do it. Or, like, the day of the show. you
Yeah.
know. So back then I was just like a valet. I'd come out with Vic, rile up the crowd, do maybe 1 or 2 moves, maybe, help him cheat, stuff like that. And I was still actually just learning about wrestling because I entered wrestling as a worker from
Yeah.
the beginning. I was never like, I didn't really watch it growing up. We had one TV growing up, and my mom, when she got home from work, really wanted to watch her soap operas, which she would tape on a VHS tape and like watch them. And wrestling in a lot of ways is like a soap opera. So,
yeah, it really is.
So
right?
it's some really wacky stuff that going
and it
on.
never
Some good
ends.
training right there.
Yeah. So I was always a worker when I got into wrestling, but which I think is a little bit different than a lot of people because they started out as fans.
Yeah.
I've always seen kind of, the person behind the curtain or whatever. But then I did train at Level Up for a little bit. I've been injured recently, so I haven't really been training a lot.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, and so how about back to Victor? When you went to Level Up to train, what was like the where'd you start? What did they have you do day one, perhaps?
Day one, the very first day I went there, B-Boy wasn't even there. It was Mike Camden was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of just did a cardio day, I think.
Really?
Me and Mike and I think Anthony was there too. Just kind of did some spots, did some rolls and stuff. Really basic stuff.
Yeah, and so like what was like the first like thing you would say is like a wrestling thing you learned?
Probably some kind of I forgot exactly what it was, but some kind of variation off the universal spot.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a lock up into a headlock,
Right.
shoot 'em off, shoulder tackle, drop
Yeah.
down, hip toss.
Yeah, yeah, that's
type
the thing
deal.
you practice like kind of regularly at training days is
Yeah.
you'll say okay, universal spot because it's like something you can launch into a lot of other things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that probably has a lot of utility. Okay, how about sorry?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Does. It. Not only do you have that like universal spot in your back pocket, but it's also a good opportunity if you're trying to work on your character. It's also a good opportunity since like we all know that spot so well.
Yeah.
Just add shit to it, bring out some of your character, sell a little bit differently every time. So it helps with that too.
Yeah. Okay, how about you, Manda? What would you say is the first like wrestling thing you learned?
Overall,
Like the first thing you remember, like when you first started wrestling and you thought, oh, this is a wrestling thing here. Because a lot of training can be like, okay, do with a stance or roll, like he said. But
Yeah.
something that, you or somebody else would say, oh, you're learning a wrestling thing.
right. Well, I mean, and I wrestled in college, like collegiate wrestling. We did freestyle.
Yeah.
So I did like, there are some things that translate. Definitely. A lot of it doesn't, but there are some things that do.
Yeah.
I mean, similarly with fighting too. But the first show I was in, Big Top Battle, I learned a spot and with Jade, back then she was Surly Girly. And, it was like, I can't remember. We would get in there. So we got in the ring, we were going to face off and the whole match had been building to this.
Yeah.
So it was Vic Valentine versus Jalapeno and it was over one of the crystals. She had it. She was, and because it was Big Top Battle, it was a circus show and wrestling show combined. It was like a crossover show. So she did like an aerial act and then she came down and she was like, oh, I have this crystal, and Jalapeno, she's like, I don't know what to do with it. So they're going to fight for it.
Yeah.
So the whole match we were on the outside and I think people kind of generally knew we were going to get in. The spot was like, I don't remember. There was like, she gave me a flying head scissors and I remember that as like a move,
Yeah.
like a wrestling move.
I think you picked her up.
Yeah, I picked her up like to
By the
fireman's
neck.
carry. Oh yeah, I picked her up and she hung on to me with her knees, but it looked like I was holding her up by the neck, which was cool.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's...
And you threw her down, and then she got back up and gave you some head scissors. Mm-hmm. Then you flew out of the ring, and that was actually the biggest pop.
Oh, yeah?
Of that night.
The biggest for me, the moment we got in the ring, people jumped out of their seats and we were like, what? Like they'd never seen two women together, like next to each other. They lost it and it made me immediately really nervous because I wasn't nervous up until this point.
Really?
Yeah. And when they just like people were jumping and yelling, it was odd, but I got nervous immediately.
Well, because I remember that from things like Fist Combat or was the SoCal's Finest. That there's not a lot of like women on women match. Oh, SoCal Pro or or Finest City Wrestling.
Oh, Finest City Wrestling.
Yeah, there's not a lot of women on women like bouts of any kind. So it's it can be kind of novel, you know.
Yeah.
I think there aren't as many women wrestlers. I think there are more now. It's
True.
becoming, especially with like Glow is such a big show, and wrestling overall
And
is
culture
like
can really push
big.
that.
Yeah, and I think though for me, shows that go out of their way to have women's matches are. To
Way
me, it's
hotter.
really important.
Oh, that-
yeah, and it
yeah,
is
yeah,
hotter
hotter.
too. I love women's wrestling. I love it. I'll wrestle anyone, but I do love women's wrestling, and I think it's really impressive to me to see shows that go out of their way to highlight women's wrestling. I think
Yeah.
a lot of times shows will just be like, oh, this wrestler wants to wrestle. She happens, if she happens to be a woman, okay.
Yeah.
But some shows will go out of their way to have sometimes more than one women's match. If you can even believe that, a more than one women's match on the card.
I mean, I don't approve personally, but I understand.
And now intergendered wrestling is a thing. Obviously not in Super Awesome Showdown because we all have superpowers.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. We're just wrestler or
Well, really,
combatants.
that's
The
the
way
best
I
part.
see it is it's like Street Fighter, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the women are like Chun-Li and Cammy and like Sonya
Right.
Blade and stuff.
Everyone can break physics, so why not?
Yeah. So it's like
yeah, we all
there's
have our
just
special
a
moves.
chick character
Yeah, what
on
was
this
Ronda-
character select screen.
What was Ronda Rousey's for? Like, she just beat up what was his name? She was just
Triple H?
yeah, she was
Was that
throwing.
at WrestleMania?
Oh yeah, for her debut thing, she just
Oh,
like
it was a lead up. It was when they were signing the contract.
Yeah.
She put him through a table.
and she got him into a corner and just
Yeah.
started throwing bombs at him. Like, and realistically, she couldn't beat him in a fight, but it's wrestling. It's all fake anyway. Why not
Yeah.
have fun with it?
Well, the psychology there is supposed to be that she caught him off guard.
Exactly. She
I-
caught him off guard. So she got, it was like what you would call like a sucker punch.
Yeah.
Because they were there to sign the contract. And
Yeah.
She wound, which, yeah. I mean, it's still, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd believe it because Triple H is a really big guy.
Well, as far as I'm willing to suspend my disbelief for
Yeah.
something that's like theater, basically.
Well, and also, too, I think also stories like that, a man doesn't really want to hit a woman,
Yep.
knowing that you're so much bigger,
That's another.
and I think that's part of the story, too.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to capitalize on it,
Yeah, she did look diminutive next to him.
Yeah.
It was great. All right, I think that was some really good show talk. Oh, wait, you got some more?
Next, it's a little off topic,
Okay.
but it is show talk. If we're recording another one of these,
We'll try to do two each week.
yeah, I wanted to talk about the music of Super Awesome Showdown.
All right, save that, for next time. All right, next episode, music talk. Sounds great. All right, so how about we get into the lounge?
The locker room.
God damn it. Swear to God. Okay. All right, so let's see. We all seem to have something we want to talk about. First, I'd like to start. Today at work, I saw this old guy who was super buff.
Okay.
He looked like he was...
Details.
Okay, so he's like silver haired fully. He's got like that super tan, like old guy skin. Either he spends a lot of time in a tanning bed or he's just that kind of old, and he's buff. Like he looks like
Like that kind of old, like a liver disease or something?
maybe. I don't know. Like
Okay.
there's
Is it like close to the color of a ham sandwich? Like ham?
I'd
No,
say
that's
ham colored?
pink.
that's more pink. Yeah, that's no more like
Cooked.
cooked. Yeah, like
Ham.
cooked.
I like a cooked ham.
Closer to that. I think he's like the store I was working at up in Bernardo Center. There's a lot of retirees who are a little more well off. So what makes me think is a lot of people there have like money and then time now to take care of themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy was like, you know how like guys can either be like 40 and looking old or 70 and looking good, and he was in that window. So
That's awesome. That
That's-
gives me hope that we're gonna
it really threw me off
be
because most
buff old people.
Yeah, most of the people I deliver to as part of my job is they're sickly.
Yeah.
And that's why they use my service. That's why I like doing it. So this guy was like a major departure of like just, but I thought,
You thought he was gonna kick your ass?
I thought he could kick my ass.
Did he have a good place? Did he have a cool place? You know?
Well, no, he was at the store. That's
Oh,
why
he was at the store.
That's why I saw him at the store, and that's why
Oh.
it threw me off. Normally I see sickly people. So yeah, I was like, that's really awesome. You know,
Yeah.
like you never see like a buff guy who's old. He's walking around like, no, I'm feeling good about myself. You know, he has that kind of swagger a little bit.
Yeah.
And they also like, and when he's doing stuff, you know, that thing where he has to have his arms out if he holds his hands up, you know, because he's that buff.
What age do you think he was, if you could guess?
Okay, listen. Honestly, I got like a 70s vibe, like early 70s.
Early 70s?
Yeah.
About how wide do you think his shoulders were? Wider than your shoulders?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was taller than me.
Was he
wider
wearing
than
like
me.
a short sleeve shirt? Can
Yes.
you see the veins in his biceps?
I didn't stop to stare. They kind of tell you don't creep out the customer, so I couldn't
Yeah.
stare at him.
That's when I'm checking out a
Checking out the
dude.
veins.
I look for veins in the biceps. Only old dudes, not my age.
Right.
Veins are kind of creepy to me,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you
And
know,
I see if I could
it's-
see muscle
okay.
striations as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good. Like individual muscles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's hot.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this guy is living his best life. Oh, speaking of which, people I've seen at my store.
Yeah.
Who's the guy on Fist Combat who dresses as the cop? Bald guy, got a little growth in his neck.
Randy Order.
I think that's Randy Order.
Randy Order. He says hi. I saw him at that store too.
Oh, cool.
And also, who's the buff guy with the silver hair and wears the sunglasses? I think he's like
Anthony Idol.
Anthony. I saw him too.
Okay.
But I didn't engage him in conversation because I wasn't sure if it was him or not.
Okay.
He was just another buff dude. I see.
He's a
This is where-
personal trainer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is where all the San Diego's finest wrestlers.
And old
Oh,
guys.
And old guys, yeah.
Hang out.
All the hot old guys.
Is
Was
that
this-
your store?
Yeah, at your store.
Yeah, there's a gym right next to it. It's like a Choose Fitness.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, they go work out and then they get like their protein heavy chicken dinners or whatever. So, yeah, you see a lot of really attractive people and really in shape old people.
Wait, is this the one that's in, can I say the name of the city?
It's in Bernardo Center.
Bernardo Center. Okay.
Yeah, San Bernardo, I think.
I don't know where that is.
It's like 20 minutes north or 15 more.
North of here?
North of here, yeah.
Okay.
Is that like
It's
close
just-
to La Jolla?
No, it's way inland. So here,
It's north of here. La Jolla would be west of here.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's that way. La Jolla's that way.
No, La Jolla is that way. Because, wait, no. The freeway's that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, La Jolla is that way. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of pointing here, audience, that you're really missing out on.
Note, we are pointing in different directions.
Okay, it was
Looks like traffic.
it's Rancho Bernardo. It's where the star is in Rancho Bernardo. Sorry.
Bernardo. Oh, is that a nice little community?
It is. It's a lot of elderly people.
It was green from what I saw from the satellite picture.
Oh, yeah, still green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
bet there's horses out there.
There are. There's a horse. There's a strong horse community. Let me tell you, it's well to do.
You know why I think they're well to do?
Why are they well to do?
Because they started saving.
Yes, this is your topic, Vic. Let's move on to your exciting topic. Actually, I'm kind of
They
interested.
probably have an online saving account, such as Wealthfront or Betterment, or even Goldman Sachs Marcus.
Now, I'd like to take this moment to say that we are not endorsed by them, but we will take their money if they'd like us to endorse them at this time.
See, I just want our listeners, whoever you may be, and even you, Spike, and you, Manda, to get started on saving for your future.
Right.
You know, because who knows if Social Security is going to be there.
It won't.
You know, that's why, you got to start thinking about retirement, like your buff 70-year-old dude.
Oh, yeah. I want to be a buff
Gotta-
73
he
year old.
doesn't-
Gotta save for supplements.
He probably, save for supplements. And, he doesn't have a 9 to 5. He just goes to the gym and maybe rides his
tans.
horse.
He rides his horse, tans, and gyms.
He probably rides his horse on the beach while tanning,
Oh, that'd be so great.
while lifting weights. But your bank actually does give you interest.
Right.
The one that you have right now, it's probably like 0.015% or something.
Yeah, just for having it in like your regular checking
in
account
your regular savings account.
and saving.
But if you get an online savings account, like with an online bank, like Wealthfront or Betterment,
Yeah.
it'll give you like a really high interest rate, which is like 2.3. Like I have Wealthfront right now, and it's
Yeah.
giving me 2.32% on my money in there, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you had $10,000 in there, you would have $200 by the end of the year. If you had
That's a good return.
if you had $100,000, it'd be more like $2,000 you'd get for doing nothing.
Yeah.
And if you had $1 million, it would be like close to like $20,000.
Well, I have.
So you can almost
500,000.
live.
Amanda, I think you said you have like 500,000 ish. If we put it
Yeah.
together, we could just
If
live.
you,
There
yeah,
go.
if you had enough money,
Yeah.
like you can live off a savings account, and that's just like one of the
Point.
secrets.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
That's one of the secrets of
So
the wealthy.
step one, get
Get-
$1 million.
Get $1 million.
Okay.
Step 2, online savings account.
Online savings account, and then step 3, get a horse, a tan, and some supplements.
And weights. You got to lift those weights.
Right.
Are we talking free weights? You think? Or are we talking like machines?
I bet he works out outside, like rustic, like he's like
Oh,
lifting
yeah.
like pieces of wood and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, he's got like the axle from like an old wagon. He lifts.
Yeah.
I imagine him with like a really modern interior gym in his house. Like it's the walls are all white and stuff, and he's got like a treadmill and like a bunch of mirrors.
I bet he juices like
yeah.
not with like with like steroids, but like has like a juicer, and
Oh,
he has
there
like
we go.
celery juice in the morning.
You don't know. Maybe he does some testosterone, a little supplement,
Maybe, yeah, some
Or
like
maybe he
hormone
does-
replacement.
Human growth hormone.
and then he deposits like money from his old guy like muscle photo shoots into his online banking account.
Yeah.
Which so I
Okay,
think
and here's
you
another.
sold me on
if
this.
you want to get even crazier, that's just the starter. The starter right there. That's 2% a year.
Okay, hang on.
If you
hang on.
want 10%,
Pause. You've sold me. Hang on.
Does he have to like take a dump? The hell? Is it recording still?
listeners, I think it is recording. Maybe he stopped it. No, I think he stopped it. Otherwise, we can just like send a little message to him while he's editing.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, here.
Whoa.
Put that in a thing.
Is this all your
Okay,
tips?
everybody, listen to
There's
this.
a big pile of money on the table.
There we go.
Gave me like a huge fat wad of cash.
Well, there's a
It made
number
a-
of ones.
It made a thump. There's a lot of ones in there.
It's
That's a
$300.
lot.
It's $346
Okay.
Yeah.
in tips.
The way online savings works
So
is that you have to put it in your bank account and then transfer it.
But
Oh.
I'll trust you. I don't know if you'll trust me with this money. I'll put it in my bank account for you, and I'll let it grow for a little bit, and then I'll let you know how much you've made after a year.
well, why don't you just sign me up for
Actually, you know what?
checking an online
Actually-
savings account?
Actually, you know what? Here's the deal with Wealthfront.
Oh yeah,
If I give you like the link, if I send you like a promo link
yeah.
through text, your first $500 will be managed for free.
Ooh,
What is that? So they do charge you something.
Yeah, after
motherfucker.
$500, they charge a management fee or something.
So they give you 2%, but then how much do they take?
Yeah, what's the trade off here? He's got a look on his face. He's got a goddamn look on his face, and I knew this was coming from second goddamn one.
Well, I'll get to that later, but
Oh,
I know that I've already made $5
Later, do you think there's gonna be a later on this?
We'll do it at another
You
podcast.
selfish son of
we'll
a
get
bitch.
more into it.
All right. Well, really, I just wanted to slap a thick wad of cash down.
That's a couple inches. That's nice.
Yeah, it was like there's like $100 and
ones.
20s. No,
Okay.
there's 20s and 10s and 5s. It's just a lot of old people will be like, here's 5 ones, and a lot of other people will be like, here's a 5er, and some rich people will be like, here's a 20. So this is
Whoa, like Buff Dude.
right. Like Buff Dude be like, here you go, son. Lift some weights. Buy
He like drops it on the floor. He's like, ha ha ha.
buy some protein powder,
Yeah,
you skinny
Bryce.
little fuck.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I wanted to get into dividend stocks,
Oh,
but we'll talk about that another time.
how about we talk about that on the next show?
Yeah.
Because we're going a little long here. So what I'd like to do is really quickly talk about a little news.
I like how
I don't know
the
how
news-
liquid meth looks, but here I'll bring it up for you. So
The
you
news
take a look.
portion of this show is always stuff that you or I haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's called news. You have to hear about it at some point, right?
Well, I guess it's not very popular news. I guess it's not very breaking. Is that no? Breaking is like it just happened. I guess
Yeah.
it's not very.
I feel like they overuse that though.
They
They're like,
do.
Breaking news. It's because they have these channels that are just news.
Yeah.
Like CNN they only do news. Because I clean my mom's house. I take care of her. So I had the TV on. She has cable. So I put it on CNN. And it was just like hurricane coverage. And then they just kind of loop around and it's
do.
the same stuff over and over again. There's no new information.
Oh yeah, and it's like every news cycle feels like it's like 10 seconds long now. So it's like so look, here's the story basically. A man was jailed for nearly 3 months after airport officials claimed he was traveling with liquid meth and it was honey. So if you look at it, he's got these beer bottle looking things there that they said was liquid meth, and apparently they don't have a means by which to test this. I have no idea.
You're not supposed to travel with liquid anyway.
What is honey a
Right?
liquid? Or
Yeah,
is it more
it
of a-
doesn't hold its own shape. If you were to take it out and put it on the table, it would not maintain the shape
so that's
of the
the
bottle. That's a definition of a liquid versus a solid versus a gas. Gas also doesn't hold its own shape.
That's true. But so my question to you is that worth 3 months in jail?
Honey, traveling with honey?
Yeah,
Did
he-
you
he
mean
was-
like
he was
wanting
all-
it so bad because you
No,
can't have
the thing.
other places?
They
honey?
arrested him and put him in jail for nearly 3 months for having that, though.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That is insanity.
Because it's not illegal to
What
have
country
honey.
was this?
Here, give me a sec. So the Maryland resident spent, let's see, days of Christmas, flew back from the U.S. or from the U.S., his birthplace in Jamaica, with 3 jars of honey.
So he went on vacation and he bought the honey
He bought
somewhere.
honey.
Okay, it's becoming more clear because
So-
why would someone just travel with honey?
Or maybe he just really likes honey. You don't know.
I don't, and it's not illegal
It's
to
not-
travel with honey.
So what was that exchange? Do you
Or
think?
your honey.
Like, what do you think that
Your
exchange was
significant
like?
other.
Like, how do you get to the point where you're getting arrested, and at no point do you say like, are you gonna test that? No, we're just gonna say it's meth. Like,
Can I read the article?
oh yeah, sure.
Is there a picture of his?
I didn't know that liquid meth looks like honey. If I was going to imagine liquid meth, I would imagine it looking a little bit different.
How so?
I'd imagine it being like more of a clear.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
on
thing.
Breaking Bad, it's clear with a blue tint.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how I
well,
imagine
that's
it
his special meth. Remember?
Yeah.
Like meth is supposed to be like glass.
Heisenberg.
Yeah, meth is supposed to be like
Clear.
classy, clear.
Well, I think there's probably different types too. Just like there's different types of heroin. There's like black tar heroin, which
Yeah.
by the name suggest. I guess that suggests
It's black
it's like
and kind of gooey.
yeah.
So yeah, my question is, what do you think that that exchange?
But it says
or-
each of the 3 bottles tested positive for methamphetamine in a field test, and those can be totally wrong tests because I was listening to a podcast, I think it was on NPR or something, about how those field tests are notoriously inaccurate.
Yeah, they're supposed to give you kind of a rough gauge.
Well, the same test though, at this one time they pulled out like a bag of Coke. They told this couple,
Yeah.
oh, we found a bag of Coke. And they're like, no, you didn't. And they're like, yep, we're going to test it. And the first time it tested negative. They tested it again. And this was for like one of those live cop shows where they
Oh, yeah.
like supposedly have cameras at all times and they go to different cities. So then they tested it again and tested positive. So they arrested them. When they took it to the lab, it tested negative. They never showed that on the television show.
Yeah, it's got to be bad television. It looks really bad for the cops when it's like, hey, our field tests are kind of crap.
Yeah.
All right, so that's without a doubt like super weird, and I don't know. They need better like field tests, or at least agents who are willing to like dip their finger in the honey and like give it a
What do
taste.
you know? He's black.
Yep, there you go. Well, in that case, it seems justified. Okay, there we go.
That was a joke, everybody.
No, I'm looking at a picture.
No,
of him.
judge.
What
Oh,
did I say?
Judge's joke. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He'll sue, and I hope he gets a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I would have worn something other than a tracksuit personally. I mean, for me, I don't look good in a tracksuit.
Okay.
That's why I said that. Okay, but before we finish up, I want to start doing something here where I recommend podcasts since we're on a podcast, and we all like podcasts here, right? Right, Victor?
I'll listen to a few.
Yes. Okay, so I'm a big fan of audio dramas, and Limetown's coming out with its own actual show. It's a podcast that has 2 seasons and is a book, and now is, I think, making a TV show or a movie. It's a story of a town that kind of disappears off the map, and then this woman comes through and starts looking into what happened, and the mystery is revealed. It's really cool, and it deals with kind of science fiction-y stuff, kind of lightly at the fringes, and government conspiracies. It's really worth a look, and if you like podcasts that with a mystery element, I suggest Limetown. All right,
Cool.
so I think we've gone long enough. Thanks for tuning in to the Transmit Podcast. I'm your host, Spike,
This is Manda.
Victor?
and we'll see you next time.